Hey everyone, hope you are well. Like, absolute minute since I have recorded a YouTube video, but I thought what better time than to do another YouTube video than on BC's 5th birthday. Hey, I can't believe BC's 5 years old. I mean, I just look back and I just think God is 100% legit faithful, because even before starting BC, there was just so much. You know what? Let's do the intros and stuff like that, and then let's get into the meat of the video. Hey. First off, Happy New Year. I know we're literally at the end of January now, but Happy New Year. And I do hope and pray that this year is a year of breakthrough for you in whatever area of your life that you require, you need a breakthrough, whether that's emotionally, mentally, financially. I pray that breakthrough comes through in this year, 2022. So if you do follow me on like my BC Instagram, then you may notice I'm doing this breakthrough 22 hashtag thing, because that's just literally what I'm holding on to for this year. And God's already come through in a few ways already. So I'm excited to see what else He's got in store for me personally this year, and also for those around me, my loved ones. But yeah, before the whole intro and stuff, I was talking about BC's like birthday and God's faithfulness. And before BC even was literally on Instagram, personally, it was all very nerve-wracking, because there's times where you know there's a dream that you want to realize, you know there's a dream that you want to fulfill, but then you're thinking, how? Who's gonna help? What's it gonna look like? Where do I start? Like, all of these questions come through to your mind, and those are all perfectly feasible questions that, you know, one must have. But sometimes, not even sometimes, for the most part in life, as I've come to realize, listen, those answers, one may never get them on this side of eternity. As one of the things that we have to do, especially on this faith journey, is trust. Trust is huge. It's absolutely huge. I mean, it's hard to trust people in general. So now, how do you even trust someone that you can't physically see, or physically like touch, or you want to hear from them, but you may think, because God's always speaking, you may think that you're not hearing from Him, or you don't know how to hear from Him. Like, all these kind of questions. How do you trust? Like, how do you actually trust God? And for me, one of the ways in which I've grown to really trust God over the years is, one, just through God's faithfulness. Like, God was like, you know, He dropped the dream of Be Crowned in my heart. At the time, you know, I was very excited about it. To be honest, I didn't really know what it would entail. I didn't know what it would look like, but I just knew that I was going to encourage people in the faith. I knew that I wanted to help people develop their own personal, intimate relationship with Christ. Like, I knew I wanted to do that. What that looked like specifically, I couldn't tell you. I mean, there's so many other faith-based platforms out there, and I was really trying to find my feet. You know, do I emulate this person? Do I emulate that person? But what I found out is that you just have to be yourself. Like, I just have to be me, to be honest. And so I really have to trust God along this whole journey of Be Crowned. And the more and more I'm continuing on, the more and more I'm able to kind of say exactly what Be Crowned is, what Be Crowned stands for, what Be Crowned does. And has it always been easy? No. Have I always wanted to post? No. There are times where I do take hiatuses. Because it's difficult. You know what it is? If you want to encourage others, which I do want to do, then you need to be in a place where you have to be encouraged. And more time, that encouragement comes from God. So it's like, God will probably take me through a series of different things. But through that, growing that resilience in my faith, sorry, and just like strength in my faith and trusting more in Christ, leaning more into Christ, because ultimately I know that irrespective, He's in control, but it's taken me a while to get to that place. But through all of the different trials, through all of the different things, the processes, the journey, etc., I've definitely been able to say I trust God more than I did 5 years ago, 100%. And I'm just grateful. I'm honestly, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. So when it also comes to trusting God, what else did I want to say? I wanted to say sometimes other people, even people that you would really, really consider to maybe be on your side or things like that, they may not always understand the vision. And this is not new. This happened in the Bible. Joseph had dreams. He shared these dreams with his siblings, his own brothers, and they were not having it, to be honest. You can find this in Genesis. I'll kind of put where in Genesis if you want to read up on the story. But his brothers weren't having it, and they essentially left him for dead because of the dreams that he had. Now, was Joseph wrong in telling his brothers his dreams? I mean, one would think, yeah, let me share my dreams because these are my brothers. What can they do? But there are, like I said before, not everyone's always going to understand the vision. But it wasn't a smooth journey. It was not a smooth journey. I would say on his part, as a young boy, there was definitely naivety there in terms of just like spilling his dreams and stuff to his brothers. But also it just shows you that sense of just that joy, like, oh my gosh, I had a dream. This is potentially what's going to happen, like, and that excitement about a dream. And one will have that excitement generally when they have a dream. I had that excitement prior to starting Be Crowned. I still have that excitement about Be Crowned. And I just remember certain people were just not, they weren't about it. People that you thought would be about it, they weren't about it. No fault of their own, maybe just based off their own understanding of things at the time, etc. But they weren't about it. And I can't lie to you, it was very, very discouraging. Very, very discouraging. And, you know, that could have potentially made me fall back and just not want to do it. But then I think had I listened, or had I really, really internalized the comments, etc., of those individuals, where would BC be today? Would I have been able to encourage the people I've been able to encourage through Christ? Would that have happened? And ultimately, when it comes down to it, and I'm face to face with God, my maker, and God's like, okay, the skills I gave to you, the dream I gave to you, what did you do with it? What am I going to say? There's another parable in the Bible, the parable of the talents, and kind of master, and he gives a certain amount of talents to the people that work for him. And essentially, what some of the workmen, they go and they replenish that, they multiply it, they come back with more. And there's one person that's just so afraid that they just bury the talent, and they just like leave it there. And then the master comes back and is like, okay, what did everyone do with what I gave them? And others are able to say, I doubled it, I did this, I was able to get more return for you. And then the master comes to one of his workmen, the one that buried it, and is like, what did you do to it? And then that person just says, oh, I just saved it and kept it safe. So essentially the question that I'm trying to ask is, what are you doing with the dream that God's entrusted to you? Are you going to trust in God to help you navigate it, or are you going to listen to the approval of people and potentially let it hinder you? And then when you're asked, what did you do with what I gave you, the only thing you can say is, oh, I just kept it. In this world, one of the things that I feel may discourage people from stepping out and doing something is because they just say, yeah, but so many people are doing it already. Yeah, there's so many other faith-based Instagrammers and podcasts and YouTube and blogs out there, but each one will mean something to the person that reads it. I mean, I'm sure, I mean, not even, I'm 100% certain, even me, like I have not come across all that there is. There's so many countries in the world, so many different people to reach. You can't just say, oh, someone else is doing it, that's fine. Because what if what you have to say, sorry, is what someone else needs to hear? Not everyone's going to come across me. Not everyone's going to see my page. Not everyone's going to go on my website. Not everyone's going to see this YouTube video. But those that do, it will mean something to them. So what you have to offer and what God has entrusted to you is useful for the next people out there. And it may not be to a platform of thousands and millions, but sometimes your audience and the people that you're influencing are the people that you meet with and you relate with on a day-to-day basis. The people that you may go to university with, depending if you're a university student. I know I've got some sixth formers, etc., watching me, people that you go sixth form with. I've got, workers, like employees, like who you're working with. I've got the entrepreneurs, like the people that you're selling to, who you're doing business for. Like there's so many people, your family, your spouse, your partner, your children, whatever the circumstance is, there is somebody that you're influencing on a day-to-day basis. So don't ever hide your light. Don't hide your light. Don't let the opinions of others dissuade you from doing what it is you know you've been called to do. Most of the time, with a God-given dream, it's always like, oh, can I do it? Can I actually do it? And there's always that sense of trepidation, like, oh, it's a bit much for me. And one thing I've come to realize is in Exodus, it tells us that God does exceedingly abundantly above what we think. So more time when we're like, yeah, I got this, it's more of it's an us thing. But with a God dream, there's always that fear. Why? Because God does bigger than we can imagine. So of course, we're going to be comfortable in something we know we can do. But when it starts to get into something bigger, it's like, oh, okay, God, I'm going to have to trust you on this one. Where I was, like, prior to BC starting, I was a bit of downtime to me. I was having a kind of like friendship breakup kind of thing. And I just didn't really want to be out there. Literally for the first part of BC, like a lot of my posts were centered around certain things. I didn't really want to show my face much. You will not be doing no YouTube video, that is for sure. Yeah, it was just mostly posts, like just wordy posts, etc. And yeah, the confidence just started to grow naturally. No one did anything, no one said anything. I just started to believe more in what God had deposited within me, and it just started to blossom. And I remember even one person commented, oh, it's lovely to see your face a lot more on the gram. And I just thought, oh, thank you. And from there it just started growing, blossoming. But it's not always been easy. And I'm not trying to say here that, don't trust anyone of your dreams. Of course, there are trusted advisors. In Proverbs, it talks about trusted advisors with whom you can liaise with, etc. But sometimes your trusted advisors may not always be the people you think will be your trusted advisors. Those are people that you may need to pray about and ask God to lead you. Like, God, who can I entrust this with? God, who can I seek advice on this matter with? God, who can help me on this project? Who can, advise me, steer me in the right direction? There are times where you will have to pray. You will have to pray for the direction in which God wants you to go, just to make sure that you're following the right path. So I'm not saying don't tell anyone your dreams. I'm just saying be mindful. And even if you do tell someone your dreams, that you do want to share it with them, because sometimes you just may want to share it with someone and they don't respond in the way that you want them to, don't worry. I can't say it's not a natural, I don't know, it's something that happens. It happens, okay? But Galatians tells us, are we trying to win the approval of people, or are we trying to win the approval of God? like I said, not everyone's always going to understand the vision, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't do it. If it's something God has deposited within you. So I know I've kind of talked about a lot of different things in this video. It's been nice to actually just kind of talk and share and express. But ultimately, what I would say is sometimes trusting God is a journey. I'm like, as much as I say I've grown in my trusting of God, I still know there's more to do. There is more to do. But literally, God has really shown me some things in the past month. So yeah, in the past month, God's really shown me some things to just remind me that He has got me, especially, and that's made me trust Him even more. Because there's some choices I've made when I was a baby girl, so maybe 12, 13 years ago or whatever. And I didn't know why I was making those choices, but at the time it was just like, no, this is the choice I have to make. This is the choice I have to make. When I say God was revealing to me the reason as to why that happened last month, I was in complete shock. And I literally was like, God, you have my back. And you know in the Bible it says God's ways are not our ways, and God sees further ahead than we could ever see. Please let us really believe in that, because there's some things and I just think, wow, God. And just those little tidbits of revelation for me have enabled me to trust God a whole lot more with just various decisions in my life. And I pray that as you listen to this, you're encouraged to want to start to trust God more. But just know that sometimes it's like, if you want to pray for compassion or you want to pray to love someone more, you're going to be put into situations where you're going to need to. So just just know that. Not trying to scare anybody, but how can you get somewhere if you're not able to practice it? Even just like in general, in order to develop a certain skill, you need to kind of go through it. So if I want to perfect my jollof rice, I'm going to need to make jollof rice several times. There are going to be times where I make it doesn't turn out how I want to, but practice makes perfect. It's the same principle. If you want to be a more loving person, if you want to be a more compassionate person, you're going to be put in situations in which you can show compassion, in which you can show love. And it's like, are you showing compassion? Are you showing love? And then this is your opportunity to be able to put those things that you've learned regarding compassion, love into practice. So when it comes to trusting God, same principle. There's several people in the Bible that trusted God. I could be here for days if we did a study on each and every single individual in the Bible that trusted God. But definitely read up on the story of Joseph. That is just a story of God's just overall sovereignty and overall looking out, even when there are pitfalls, even when there are like things that you want, like accusations and things you won't even consider or imagine happening to you. The fact that God's hand is running through it all, and you just see at the end, it's such a great character study. So definitely, if you do want to do a character study, definitely read up on the character of Joseph. As mentioned, I would have posted it somewhere, that a specific verses, so that you can read it. And what else would I recommend? Having the word in your heart. Literally, have the word in your heart. Develop a relationship with the Lord. How do I do this? Firstly, invite him into your life. Just say that you want him to be your savior. You want him to lead you and guide you. Like, just express that to him. And then be intentional about wanting to spend time in the word. This generation is so blessed. When I say this generation, I'm talking about us, but I'm thinking about, so with regards to all of this, like e-Bibles, apps, blogs, magazines, audio Bible, journal Bible, sticker Bibles, all of these things, picture Bibles, all of those things was not available. Translations, they were not available that much, maybe a few, I don't know, but now we have access to so many ways in which we can read the word. So even if you're not that much of a reader, there's even like YouTube Bible stories now. Like you can watch it, you can listen to it. If you're a colorer, you know, you like the colors, there's the picture Bibles, there's the journal Bibles that you can write in. There's so much out there. Find something that works for you. Find a routine that works for you. You don't have to start saying, I'm going to spend 1 hour daily. No, do what works best for you, okay? If you do need help on that, then just reach out to BC. I'll put my contact details below so you can just reach out, and then we can work on a personalized plan for you. We can work on doing something that can help you with regards to developing your relationship with Christ in that way. So there's help available. Don't feel like you're on your own. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say, really. Thank you. If you're a regular here, thank you so much for the support, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, for everything. If you're new here, welcome. And we hope that you continue to stay. And yeah, for my day ones, you know how it is. My day one BC crew, the love is real. Honestly, the love is real. Thank you guys for just everything. And yeah, let's wait and see what's in store for the rest of the year for BC. Like I said, keep locked in, keep posting. If you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up, share it with a loved one, a friend, someone that you think will benefit from it. Come back and watch it again if you want to. And yeah, I'm going to leave it here for now. But thank you so much. Take care. And yeah, peace out.